Another episode of The World is Burning. For all of you that are new to this channel, welcome. This channel, I've just put it together. We're following the current economic crisis everyone's going through. And I believe in 2024, 2025, there's going to be some huge financial crashes in the markets. The financial house of cards are starting to fall. Today, we're looking at the property market forecast for 2024. Let's see what people on TikTok are saying. And yeah, leave me a comment. What do you think the property market's going to do in 2024? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Leave me some thoughts and feedback. Let's go.
What's going to happen to property prices in 2024? Here's 3 reasons why I think they're only going to go up. Number 1, the federal government's stage 3 tax cuts come into effect. And as you can see by this table here in the last column, there's going to be a significant jump in borrowing capacity for everyone overnight once the tax cuts come in. Number 2, overseas migration is at record levels. This article was written on CoreLogic earlier this week, and as you can see, we've had 454,000 people come into the country in the last 12 months. One thing we know for sure is that all of these people are going to need somewhere to live. Initially, that'll put pressure on the rental market as migrants are skewed towards renting. However, in time, there is a transition to property and buying their own property as they spend more time in Australia. And lastly, rate cuts. As you can see here, all the major banks are predicting rate cuts in late 2024, and that's only going to further stimulate the property market as borrowing capacities increase and there's more demand to buy property versus renting.
Yeah, so I don't know much about the Australian market other than just reading it bits and bobs. Interesting, this guy says he's so confident that it's going to go up. I think this comment here sums it up quite nicely. Nicely though, I've sold all the property I bought in 2020 and 2021. Massive gains, unsustainable. Unemployment will be the story of 2024, and house prices will fall. I think this guy's hit the nail on the head. Shout out JH. It's unsustainable. This parabolic growth from 2019, 2020, 2021, it can't sustain. I'm going to do a video about the layoffs that are going on, have gone on in 2023 and will go on in 2024. I'm going to drop that tomorrow. But yeah, I think unemployment is going to be the story of 2024. And if people don't have money, you're not going to sell prices for top dollar. It's just not going to. Like, look at this one. Mine has gone up 450K. Like, that just can't keep going because people can't afford it.
Everyone who buys a house between basically December 1st and February 28th, you're going to look at those people the same way you looked at people who bought houses at the beginning of COVID. You're going to look back and be like, damn it. Why wasn't I that smart? Why was I so scared? What was I thinking again?
I don't think it's a scared thing. I think a lot of people are actively trying to buy houses as quick as possible, but there's so much red tape, the mortgage lenders, the interest rates. It's just not as easy and quick and easy for a lot of people.
You're going to look back with tons of regret because I believe
Yep.
anybody who buys a house right now is going to get the best deal you're going to see in years. There's no competition. And the second that these rates drop, you're going to see millions of buyers jump onto the market, and housing prices will never be the same. This is going to be your moment. That's my prediction. And if I'm wrong, if we come back a year from now, 6 months from now, and the market hasn't changed and nobody's making a ton of money, pies all in my face. But I'm telling you,
Yeah, I mean, this guy, another guy, I didn't expect so many people to be so positive about it. I'm fresh, I hadn't seen these videos, I'm watching them with you the first time, guys. I just think people aren't going to have money and they're not going to be able to pay these crazy prices. And he's sort of saying the market's going to spike. I know it's a hard asset and real estate, you know. I can't see it going to zero or plunging. I'm not saying that. I think it's going to correct down maybe 10 to 20% because people just can't afford things right now.
If you want to buy a house but everything just feels way too expensive, this video might be for you. It's impossible to predict property prices, but Rightmove, the biggest platform in the UK for selling properties, thinks that the prices will dip by 1% as more competition comes from sellers. For as much as it's worth, they weren't too far off from their predictions last year, but they only really track the asking price, not the price that things are sold for. But the big problem is the mortgage rates, the actual cost of running the house once you get it. Well, the potentially really positive.
Yeah, I've just seen this comment here. I thought I heard him wrong. They're predicting the prices are going to drop 1%. I mean, what are they talking about? Why even mention if you think it's going to be 1%? That's essentially just staying the same price.
but it's predicted that fixed rate mortgage yields could dip below 4% by mid next year. So you're talking within like 6 or 7 months. And bear in mind, right now, they're at 7 and 6%. It's crazy. Still an incredibly difficult market, but hopefully next year just a little bit easier to get your foot on the property ladder. As always, follow Softmove for everything moving house.
Yeah, this comment's quite good actually. 1%, that's jack shit. The house market will never drop. Just buy when it's good for you. If not, you'll just be waiting forever. I think that really sums it up quite nicely, buying a house. You know, buy when it's good for you. If you've got the money together for a good deposit, a healthy deposit, you know, buy when it's good for you and don't just always try to time the market, or else you might be waiting forever and you might miss out on a good deal.
So are property prices going to fall or are they going to go up? This is the question I'm asked 50 to 60 times a week. Obviously, unless your head has been buried in sand for the last 2 years, interest rates have gone up by around 4.5% over the last 18 plus months. Okay, normally when that happens over the last 100 years, property prices have fallen. Okay, this time they haven't fallen, they've gone up. The market is crazy out there. If you're looking at buying a house over the last year, you've seen the bidding wars, you've seen the craziness that has been out there.
Yeah, I bought a house just before the pandemic, and I missed out on 3 or 4 houses because I wasn't prepared to get in a crazy bidding war. I put my value in, I put what I thought the house was worth, I put my offer, and then they called me back and was like, "Nah, you've lost it. And do you want to put another one in?" I was like, "Nah, that's what I think the house is worth." Eventually, I got a house, and I'm happy with what I got. But yeah, try and stay away from bidding wars, guys. They can bite you in the ass.
Inflation seems to be under control and is in declining, and you can see that in the supermarkets, you can see that in the petrol pumps, you can see that everywhere where it's going on. So what's going to happen now? Interest rates are going to fall next year and probably continue to fall down. They probably won't go down to as low as they were, but they'll probably go down to maybe 3% or something. So when money becomes cheaper, that means more people can lend, more people can fall into a bracket. You can get a higher lending capacity off the bank. So what's going to happen there, do you think? Property prices are going to go up because there's going to be more people that can afford bigger budgets or can actually now fall into the lending circle, and then they can buy more properties. So if you're sitting on the fence about buying a property now or holding off for 6 months or a year, I'd be buying a property now because interest rates are going to fall down and more people are going to come into that pool of buying.
I mean, he's not wrong about that. He's not wrong about that. The interest rates will have to come down because I don't think it's sustainable, and big businesses are going to start failing if the interest rates keep going up. But I just don't think the people have the money. Leave me a comment. Do you think people have the money for these outrageous prices these days? Shout out this guy here. Cash is king. Not if the World Economic Forum has its way. Market correction imminent. I think you're correct around that. See, the comments kind of seem to be siding with me, not these guys.
All right, you guys want housing market predictions for 2024? I got 2 words for you. Sideways market. What does that mean for you? Let me explain. The first point we're going to look at is low levels of inventory, which means it's still technically a seller's market, as much as that's hard to believe. Takeaway number 2, high mortgage rates are still going to destroy demand for home buyers, putting them on the sidelines. Remember, these people still want to buy, they just can't afford it. And as soon as any affordability is returned to the market, they're coming back in. So that's pent-up demand. Which leads to takeaway number 3, if rates drop in 2024 like we think they are, how much is uncertain, then we could see a huge spike in sales because sellers are going to come off the sidelines just like buyers are. But this is the...
Yeah, it's a good point actually. I might not have thought about this fully. There probably is a lot of people who have just been sat on the sidelines this whole time. And still banking up money, and they're ready to pull the trigger. They just haven't been able to with the mortgages. So I might have overlooked that. Maybe this guy's talking. You might have talked me over, MJ Whooms.
Question everyone wants to know: will home prices go down? The answer: probably not. Most people see, like I said before, a sideways market with home prices rising maybe 3 or 4%, maybe 0. As we try to do what? Build back the supply of homes for sale, because there are simply not enough of them. In fact, some experts even believe we could easily absorb a doubling of housing inventory without seeing major negative effects.
Yeah, and this is the thing with the pandemic. We never fully got back to full manufacturing capacity in a lot of ways. The supply chain was messed up for so long. We're still feeling the ripple effects. We're still feeling the ripple effects in a lot of areas.
Price. I believe you'll see inventory slowly creep up and rates slowly creep down as we bring back that balance. But again, prices just kind of slowly, gradually go up, and affordability comes back through interest rates. Because interest rates dictate affordability way more than price for most people. Builders know.
Yeah, that is very, very true. That is very, very true.
Do you see the news? Just out now, they are warning that house prices in Victoria and Sydney are going to come plummeting down, which is interesting because it was only 1 or 2 months ago that prices were tipped to go up into 2024. But a leading economist has warned that this extra rate hike, as well as conflicts in the Middle East and some other contributing factors, could see market prices come tumbling down by 4%. But it's not all doom and gloom. If you waited
Tumbling down by 4%, I was expecting more. When you use the word tumbling down, it's got to be more than 4%. Come on.
into the video,
You can
I will tell
negotiate
you
4%
where is
discount.
projected to actually rise in value. I do want to stress that some areas may fall in price, but some areas will probably come out unscathed. In particular, some of those areas where I think you could really expect a decline in price will be those areas that are under mortgage stress. Talking areas around Melbourne, think about like the city of Casey, Cranbourne, Clyde. Some of those areas will be experiencing additional mortgage stress. So more properties in those areas are likely to come to the market. And of course, as we know, lack of scarcity reduces price. And what that means is a lot of properties come to market and there's less purchases than there are properties. So therefore, people have the power. They can negotiate much lower prices because the vendors need to sell. So whilst this economist's forewarning comes with bad news for places like Melbourne and Sydney, he does tip that prices are looking to go up by up to 8% in Brisbane and up to 9% in Perth. So there's still so many bargains and excellent investment properties to be found in these areas, and if this economist is right, those areas are still going to see a lot of capital growth come the next 12 months. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see how this potential forecast affects Melbourne and Sydney and exactly what suburbs are affected. Let me know your
Yeah, another Australian person well, I guess these are all property people as well, so they might be doing a sales job on us here, but they all seem to think it's all good and well and it's going to keep going up.
What is the prediction for the housing market next year? This year has been flatter than usual, and the economists are predicting that as we go into next year, fixed interest rates will continue to fall. They've not said what amount they're going to settle at. We haven't got that prediction yet, but one thing that they are saying is because so many people have held off buying this year, they are expecting a bit of a surge in Q2 and Q3, just because as interest rates settle and it becomes the new norm, more people will get confident in buying again. So it's going to be an interesting year to see what happens. But one thing I will say is that as we head into a new year and potentially a busier year for buying property, it is a good idea to make sure that you are ready if you're looking at buying. This year we've had the luxury.
Yeah, shout out to her there. Be ready. If you do want to buy, this is the time to save up because interest rates will drop. There might be a little fluctuation in the price and you might get yourself a good deal. So if you are wanting to buy a house, be looking all the time, have your deposit ready, get your mortgage principal ready, get ready to go. We'll do this last one and then we'll get out of here. We've already seen this video on a previous one.
Here is a possible prediction of how 2024's real estate market going to look like. Gear up for an interesting season ahead. It looks like mortgage rates will be dropping, but also the house prices will be increasing. Low interest rate means that more people will be able to afford more homes, but as the demand increases, the house prices also increases. Buyers might face some challenges due to high prices, but there are still a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, and these guys all seem, another realtor though, to be fair, they all seem so confident it's going to go up. The videos I've been watching, it's everyone complaining that they don't have enough as is and they can't get on these mortgages as is. So yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. Leave me a comment. I want to know what your thoughts of the 2024 property market is. Let me know where you're at in the world and what you think your property market's going to do. But yeah, I think things are going to come crashing down. If the interest rates get lowered, that might buy them some time. But I just don't know how people are affording this when I've been seeing people struggling so much. So that's it for this one, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.